where my creative and my director were wearing 6 layers of clothes with hoodies, them covering them up, and the earplugs and gloves and everything. And I was working in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Everyone has my number. Yeah? Anyone who
Okay.
wants to get
Okay.
in touch with me as a creative person. No, not it's not because I can't relate to every new person, right?
Yeah,
So then I invest my time, my life into that person, into becoming that person. Yeah, the kind of content that was getting made like 6-7 years ago now had no scope for a person like me. I'd have to pack my bags and go back home.
So-
brutal industry, hours, man.
Yeah.
I'm working on a light-hearted show right now because I thought things were getting too intense, and I think that also.
Hello to everyone who's watching this. This is Amar on Movie Fight, and today I'm joined by a credible, reliable, and consistent actor whose fan base is as immense as his goodwill. Hello, Varun. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much.
I remember interviewing you last in a club in South Bombay for Tu Hai Mera Sunday at a brunch. Way back pre-COVID, 2016. All the cast was there.
Cast was there. I had actually prepared for meals for the media.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was an exercise kind of a thing.
Okay.
That brunch, yeah.
Yeah.
So way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
And that movie aged so well.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then obviously there was the exceptional Asur, followed by obviously one of the best, without a doubt, Kohara last year. I'm sure that the offers must be flooding to you right after Tu Hai Mera Sunday. But are you super selective, or is there a specific plan trajectory, or that you're following, or is it just God's plan?
I'm not a very religious person, to be honest.
Okay.
But I do understand there's some kind of energy that that the universe has.
Yeah.
You tend to do right with your own heart, and I think good things happen to you.
Yeah.
There's a certain kind of there was a certain kind of content I wanted to be associated with, and thankfully I got the options. I was patient enough to wait for it, and I got the exact same kind of things that I really want to be associated with. The exact filmography, अगर किसी और actor की तो बोलता है यार ये this guy is nice. It's a nice filmography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure जब कभी कुछ ऐसी चीज आई होगी where you must have said no to them, and saying no, I think is a very hard. Is also a skill which one should learn, क्योंकि वैसे ही काम लोगों को मिलता नहीं. I've seen people coming 10 years and going back.
Yeah.
So
It's a brutal industry, hours, man.
yeah. So how do you tackle with all these egoistic makers जिनको मना कर देना है? क्योंकि आपको sure है कि ये मुझे नहीं
बड़ा
करना.
गंदा scene है. But yeah, actually, eventually, see, it's also in an easier space when you're placed like the way I am right now, at least. So I'm like, pretty much a lot of time in this year is just not there because I've said yes to so many things anyways.
Yes.
So that's how you just respectfully say no. Sometimes when you want to collaborate with the maker in the future, you just say honestly ki I am not creatively inclined with this one, but I would love to work with you because I love your past films. That's a very difficult spot to be in. So yeah, you have to get creative.
Okay, perfect. Coming to Rakshak 2, India's Bravest, please tell me about your character and what did you... So every project teaches an actor something about his or her craft. So what did this project teach you that, okay, I can do this also and surprise you?
Yes, that's a very good question. Okay, what happened was that the first like art you can bring, but you can't bring lungs, extra lungs, right?
Yeah.
You can't bring extra feet.
Correct.
So the first, we done extensive physical training for this. So the first day we did the army drills. Like, I will not be able to pull through this because I remember my legs were shaking because I had not worked out for a while, and these are very different skills. And to top it up, this was to be done on a very high altitude in Kashmir in very low temperature. It was going to be like I knew what I was kind of getting into. So at that time I started working out in my lower body, and I've actually never worked out in my lower body. I worked on my upper body. And so when we shot, I was the last man standing every day that we finished.
Okay.
And at that time I knew that okay, there's this one new thing. I have an undying spirit, which maybe I might not have the skill to pull something off, but I have the spirit to work on it, and then acquire that skill. That was something that I was actually really proud of myself.
Yeah, I think you can prepare all the acting thing, but you cannot prepare for the temperature in Bombay.
You just can't. Yeah, I can't tell you stories. I mean, people were dressed. I actually have a picture I have to put out on Instagram where my creative and my director are wearing 6 layers of clothes with hoodies, covering them up, and the earplugs and gloves and everything. And I was working in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
In a t-shirt without anything in the scenes. Obviously, you can't also be like, that can't happen. And that's action. I got hurt so many places in my whole body, So you just can't prepare for that. You just have to dive into this whole thing.
Okay. You were saying that you will post it on social media. I've been following you since I think a decade now.
Okay.
So I've seen your post. Sometimes you just post a photo without a caption.
Right.
And now I'm not a full supporter of it, but a lot of it has to do with social media engagement.
Right.
People are seeing numbers also.
Right.
So how is your relationship with your social media? Do you post it or do you keep someone for it?
My relationship with my social media is not the best. But I do wanna. The thing is that I know there's a certain kind of thing that obviously gets the mileage, and I'm very aware of that. It's just that that's not me.
Yeah.
I've never succumbed to any kind of pressure of being somebody else, and not done that all my life. And I'm 39 years old now. It's too late to change, especially when you're doing okay.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. I understand the idea that there are people who wanna watch a glimpse into what I do, how I do it, into my peace of mind.
Yeah.
So I try to write sometimes. I tend to not include the whole remainder world with it. So I think my social media is my own personal thoughts, and it's for the people who want to watch it.
Okay, perfect. About the selection of roles, how do you select your roles? Is it something which you completely relate to, or something which you completely fail to relate to? How do you select your scripts?
I don't. You can't relate. Also, the proper thing is that when you read, you read as a fan.
It need not be a parameter, the relating thing.
No, it's not because I can't relate to every new person, right?
Yeah,
then I invest my time, my life into that person, into becoming that person. And when you're reading, you're always reading as you're always told कि इन्होंने पहले ये करा, इन्होंने पहले ये करा, इन्होंने पहले ये लिखा है. So when you're reading as a fan. Okay, if as a fan it excites you, then you can go be a part of that thing. So relatability is never the factor because it's usually 0%. But by the time obviously you finish it and coming out of that project, then it's up to 100% because you really become that kind of a thing.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. Okay. Varun, you have been a sweetheart for the audience after your stint at TV shows, and since then you have successfully portrayed many complex characters, be it Asur, Kohara, and now Rakshak. So what do you think was the deciding move which made this shift so organic?
There was no overnight thing. Apart from, in fact, my television stint, my show is Pehukyanandu just went crazy overnight. That was the only thing. After that, when I was thinking, I will, I will not be able to do a daily show, because probably it's not my kind of a temperament kind of a thing. I can't just do the same thing. Because after a while, कितने novelty आ जाएगी writing में यार.
बिल्कुल.
हर रोज नया episode हर रोज.
बिल्कुल.
So at that time, since then things go a little uphill, but it was not. In fact, it was an absolute opposite of overnight thing. It was a very gradual shift that happened. Organic. That happened with the help of a lot of minds in our industry also changing, coming to ki, OTT is the real deal. Let's just start investing here. Because the story you'll be able to tell here, you can't tell on television, you can't tell on films.
Okay.
So yeah, it was not an overnight thing. It was a very gradual, organic process.
Okay. Now I want to ask something for the writers. So a lot of my friends are writers, budding writers. They might have contacts, might not have. So if they want to pitch you something, how do they go about it? How will they contact a person? How will they contact you as an artist if they don't have any POC?
Everyone has my number. Yeah? Anyone who wants to get in touch with me as a creative person, they can. I never tell anyone. I'm not even my agency ki mera number mat do or whatever. But also to get access, pata nahi koi dena chahe na dena chahe. So anybody who has something, they can actually go to my Instagram handle, and it's got my agent's name and number. They can approach.
Perfect. It's that easy. I hope you all guys are listening. Coming back to Rakshak, how was the vibe on the sets of? How was the vibe on day one? And if you compare it to the last day, what changed and how was it? The whole experience, because you are playing.
So we started with a very intense shoot.
Yeah.
The whole show was intense.
Yeah.
But there was a certain amount of ease in the camaraderie between the crew, actors, co-actors, everyone towards the end. और I think वो हर show पे हो जाता है. पर कभी-कभी क्या होता है, like the genre of the show is also मतलब
defines the chemistry between the actors
on the set. Like if it's a light-hearted show, usually मैंने देखा है अगर बंदे सही मिल जाते हैं तो हाँ ये करते करते पूरा टाइम निकल जाता है, काम भी अच्छा होता है. But this is a very intense show.
Yeah.
Majorly the temperament was intense. I also kind of go into my zone, so I don't get into a lot of jokes and stuff like that. So I remember just walking a lot on the sets when I was not working in the afternoons. Mornings were extremely cold, so they were spent in front of the heater.
Okay, but I'm sure it was a rewarding process.
Yes, absolutely.
So they say that a show or a movie or a project is as good as the conflict. So while talking about conflicts, while you were rising in your careers, what was the most major conflict in your career which you faced? And how did you combat it while you were rising?
Yeah, the kind of content that was getting made like 6-7 years ago had no scope for a person like me. I'd have to pack my bags and go back home. Like you will not get me dancing, in a garden or anything like that. Because I won't be able to do it well. The thing is that, I would have loved it if I had that skill or bent for that matter. Because skills develop हो जाती हैं अगर bent हो तुम्हारा तो.
बिल्कुल.
पर मेरा है नहीं. So I think the world solved that conflict for me, and I got started getting offers where I could display what I have.
Yeah, more performance oriented.
Yeah. And then the range varies. From point you come to ki I am not doing this. That from that point to you come to ki halka sa degree ki oh my god, this is a little tough. Can I do this? Okay, let's give it a shot. And then comes to 4 is people are like, oh my god, I had no idea you could do this kind of a thing. So I think the conflict was resolved by my like masala content is not really my thing.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
There has to be some relevance in what I'm doing.
Okay. Perfect. And lastly, if you want to say something to the audience why they should tune in right now and watch Rakshak.
Yeah, Rakshak is the real life story of our one of our Jawans who laid down his life for our country. And I'm not even saying that that's enough reason to watch a film and entertain yourself. But it's a very well told story. And I saw the film, I was like, oh, this is much better than I expected. So if you can take my word for it, want to be educated and entertained, go watch Rakshak.
And Barun Sobti is in it, so I don't think you need any other reason. And as a personal admirer of your work, what's coming up next after Rakshak?
I'm working on a light-hearted show right now because I thought things were getting too intense. And I think there's also a lack of light-hearted shows on the horizon.
Yeah, everything is very serious or semi-serious. Yes.
So I thought it was a good time. It was a novel idea, and it's a brilliantly written show. We're shooting it right now in Bombay, and there's 2 shows coming up after that. One's called Dunali, one's called The Wonder. Those are pretty serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward. All the best.
Thank you.
All the
Thank you so much.